Hi community. We just wanted to touch base now that we're on the other side of General Conference. First and foremost, we want to thank you for praying over our church. We are an international church that is doing incredible ministry all across the world, and it's a beautiful thing that here at Community we get to be a part of that. Just as we filmed a video leading up to General Conference letting you know what we thought was coming, we thought that it could be helpful to have another video that recaps what happened. We're going to have a list of links below that'll include a PDF of things that were passed, a PDF of the revised social principles, as well as a wrap-up video from General Conference that's about a half an hour long that the conference put together, that our annual conference here in Florida put together for us.
Thank you, Ben. So as we said before, what are often referred to or have been referred to as the 3 R's, the regionalization, the revised social principles, and the removal of the restrictive language were the 3 main areas that were addressed and passed, which we talked about in the previous video, and we've talked about on occasions before. Again, the revised social principles haven't been done in about 50 years. So this is a good revision for those, and again you'll see a link to a PDF that includes those for your review. Regionalization, as we talked about, will allow the United States to have its own region. This is a change from what's been done in the past, which allows the United States to do its work ahead of General Conference. That will still require a 2/3 aggregate vote or affirmation from all voting members in all annual conferences. So again, that's not 2/3 of annual conferences, that's 2/3 of all votes in all conferences. That's a constitutional amendment, which is why it requires that kind of vote. And then lastly, the removal of the restrictive language. Again, we talked about how the church for so long has had prohibitive language for clergy, for example, to be ordained if they are LGBTQ, or for clergy to perform weddings at all without punishment. And the removal of the restrictive language simply is permission giving for those who would like to, and is not in any way mandatory on any local church or pastor.
Thanks. That was super helpful and a great summary. There was a couple other large things that happened at annual conference that we just wanted to touch on. First, you might have heard language around us being in common communion with the Episcopal Church. We voted that we would like to be in common communion with the Episcopal Church. Now it goes before their international body to see if they would like to be in common communion with us. We do have this kind of relationship already with other denominations, such as some Lutheran denominations and other denominations that also have Wesleyan roots. The idea of common communion just means, one, pastors can perform the sacraments in each other's churches, and also that at times we might share appointments. This is more applicable to Europe than it is here in the US. As Christianity has declined in Europe, there have become times and spaces when you might have one pastor serving both the Episcopal Church in town and also the Methodist Church in town. And so this would give a lot of permission around that ability. Another thing that happened is that deacons, which is one of our 2 ordination orders, received sacramental rites. The order of deacon is a relatively new thing. I think Kelly said that the ordination of deacon wasn't even around when he started ministry. So it's a relatively new order that we're still working out and figuring out. And for a while, deacons, though, have all the same education and have to go through all the same process as what you might think of as an elder or a local church pastor. They have not been allowed to administer sacramental rites. Deacons are often ministering out in the world and back towards the church. And so you might think about things like a hospital chaplain, or the Florida Children's Home, or folks working with our friends that live out on the streets. Another big thing that happened at annual conference is that you might have heard that the Eurasia Conference chose to leave the denomination. And we talked about this a little bit at different times and in different spaces, but as you might imagine, a lot of tension developed with the war in Ukraine and Russia. And previously, Ukraine and Russia used to be a part of the same regional conference, or what we would think about as a jurisdictional conference in the U.S. right now. And that was obviously problematic. And as those tensions have continued, they have decided that they would like to bless each other's ministry, but not be in the same denomination anymore. Then the last thing that we wanted to talk about is that there was a significant reduction to the overall budget of the General Conference. And so the idea is that we are reducing a lot of our staffing and what we're doing with some of our boards and ministries on an international level in order to keep money in the local church. It's been a very significant decrease over the past several years. But I think our apportionments are actually going down to the global church over the next several years. So where it had been over 3% of our annual budget, it is going to be down in the 2.5% range in the next couple of years. So that'll be a savings for here for us at Community to be able to focus on local ministry more.
Correct. Very good. Thank you, Ben. So again, we thank you for the opportunity to speak to you through the video. And of course, we encourage you, if you have any questions, please contact myself or Ben. And continue to pray for our church as we seek to move forward and make disciples of Jesus Christ.
Love y'all. Bye.